So this is episode 1107, and we are here live in Southwest Florida in my RV studio. It's just starting to rain outside. Let me know if you can hear the raindrops on the metal roof. It's quite loud in here, but it's loud in a nice way. Oh, hopefully you can hear it now. Can you hear it? I will. Oh, good. Joe says she can hear the rain. Hi, Joe. Hi, Judy. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Oh, maybe Bjorn will let me tickle his tootsie so you can see. It's so cute when he lets me do it. Hi, Judy. Hi, Jane. Hi, Karen. So sometimes when he lets me tickle his toes, he spreads his foot out like this and lets me get in there. Let's see if he'll let me do it. Not on camera. I know, baby. I know. Hi, Val. Hi, Judy. Hi, Crazed Vintage Model. Not today, sweetheart. Maybe this, see? Maybe this one. You just want down? Oh, you want to stay? He wants to stay. Well, we got lots to talk about today, and if we don't get to everything, we don't get to it. That's fine. Hi, Yana. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Judy. Good morning. Hi, Edna. Good morning. Oh my goodness, I think he wants to stay for a minute. How cute is this? Yay, Jane's book is coming. Wonderful. Yeah, I shipped out all the pre-orders except for 2 yesterday. The last 2 were combination orders that require boxes, so I have to go and grab some boxes today. Everything that could go in the padded mailer went out yesterday, so most of the packages went out. There's only 2 remaining, so I'm definitely caught up on the pre-orders. And if you didn't take advantage of the pre-order, I'm offering the pre-order promotion through the 15th, so you can still get the ebook for free if you want to order the paperback from me through the 15th. Otherwise, my new book, Crochet Power 2 Edgings, is available as a paperback on my website. It's also available as an ebook on my website, and it's also available as a paperback on Amazon in all Amazon markets all over the world. If you're on my mailing list, I sent out all of that information yesterday. And is he thinking about falling asleep? Oh my goodness, how cute. Hi, Marlene and Judy. Good morning. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hi, Sherry. It sure sounds like it sure feels like he's getting comfy. Hi, Rita. Hi, Carrie. Oh, I can't see from him. We'll open up my computer so I can read some of the names from here too. Hold on, sugar. I got you, boo-boo. Let's see if I can get ads. Hi, Donna. Good morning. Hi, Yana. I think my computer's still catching up. Hi, Donna. Good morning. Thank you, Karen. He is the sweetest. He's just the sweetest. Hi, Sandra. Carrie the Yarny Elephant. That's the one I couldn't read over there. Okay, so I think I'm caught up now. Oh, Karen, he's this cuddly all the time. He is just the sweetest. Aren't you? You're just the sweetest kitty. Tell you what, couldn't be at a better time with everything that I'm going through, and even having to deal with empty nesting on top of everything else this year. Him being so cuddly has just been such a huge blessing for me to have somebody to baby. Yeah, do I baby you? I sure do. I sure do. So as I was connecting to the live stream this morning, I saw that there were some questions about selling online. And yeah, it really is pouring, Judy, and early morning is usually not the time of day that we get this much rain, so it's definitely unusual. But it does sound great in the RV. I do love the sound of the rain in here. Unless I'm trying to watch TV or record videos, then the noise is really annoying. Any other time, it's great. No, not what Florida needs, that's for sure. With all the people that have lost their roofs and just have tarps on them, it's been pretty painful to see it rain here right now, just because I know it's complicating so many people's problems. Yeah, it's so complicated and devastating down here still right now, but I'm doing my part to help my community and, you know, trying to keep myself and my family safe, and that's all we can do. I started volunteering at a local church this week to help cook and serve hot meals. We've been cooking and serving about 100 hot meals in like a little over 2 hours every evening this week. They told me that they want to do this long term, so they don't want to burn anybody out by coming every day. So they told me they'd like me to come 3 days a week, and I said that would be fine. Karen wants to know which stitch pattern in Crochet Power would work well for a hex-shaped shawl. Really wants to make one. Love Crochet Power, great resource. That's a great question, Karen. And this is great to answer questions while baby Bjorn's being so cuddly and I don't have to use my arms. Honestly, you can use any of them. So the construction style you want to focus on is the increase in rounds, where you see a sample of squares in the book. A square work increase in the rounds is 4 repeats or 4 corners. To do the hexagon, you would do 6 repeats or 6 corners instead of 4, like is shown in the sample. And keeping in mind that when you do stuff like that, you want to pay close attention to your gauge for whatever size hook and whatever size yarn you're using. If you crochet too densely, your project may not lay flat, and if you crochet too loosely, you might not know if it's flat or not until, actually with the tight or the loose, you're going to want to work several rounds and block it and make sure that it's not ruffled and it's not puckering and that it's lying as flat as you want it to look. If not, you'll want to adjust your gauge either by tightening up your stitches or loosening up your stitches with a different size hook for whatever size yarn you're using. So it is an experimentation when you add more increases to something, but it's all doable in the book with any of the stitch patterns. It's going to be based on your gauge with whatever yarn you're using and how the water is affecting it when you block it. But wonderful question, and if you don't understand everything I said, please continue asking me, because I want to make sure that you understand, and this is a question that many other people would want to understand as well. Is that clear with my original answer, Karen, or would you like to talk about it more? And I did see, I know, Marlene, this is so precious that Bjorn's letting me hold him like this. He looks comfy, doesn't he? He's not even stirring. And I did see that as I was coming on, I did see, like for example, Karen, just start with double crochet. Just start with the double crochet when you can start simple and then add on more and more complicated stitch patterns after you get the gist of it from doing something simple. So I would start with maybe the double crochet in the beginner stitches chapter. Okay, so like I said, when I was popping on this morning, I saw in pre-chat that there were questions about selling online and taking photos of your work that you want to sell online. I'd be more than happy to answer some questions about that right now if you have them. One person said, I thought, it just came up real quick, I thought someone said they had a hard time figuring out how to photograph Afghans for selling online. And one of the ways that I think is great is to buy one of those decorative ladders that are meant for storing Afghans. I bought one in white on Amazon a couple years ago, and I find it to be a really great resource for draping Afghans or draping different larger projects for photography. I don't know if I've listed it in my Amazon shop, but we could certainly check when my arms aren't full. But please ask me your questions about photographing your work. Ask me your questions about selling work online, whatever. I noticed someone else was asking, if you sell on Etsy or on other sites, do they take a commission? Yes, they do. Hi, Rennie. Nothing's free. Always remember that. Nothing's free. You pay one way or the other, and if you're selling on someone else's website, they will take a cut, yes. Stitches by Sharon has a photo box, but never thinks to pull it out. Photo boxes can either be helpful or not helpful if you don't have the right lighting. So having the right lighting is also important with a photo box. I think natural lighting is the way to go when you can harness it and use it well. Otherwise, you'll need to invest in some professional lights. And unfortunately, you get what you pay for. The more you spend, the more powerful lights you get, the better light source you have. So anytime you can take advantage of natural lighting, it does help a lot. Whether you're sitting really close to a window on a bright day, or going outside and paying attention to early morning light, late afternoon light. Midday light is usually too harsh for photography. It blows out your lights and your darks, which doesn't give you great contrast or great definition. Unless you can do midday in indirect light, like if you're in the shade somewhere, and then you, depending on what camera you're using and what light source you're using, you may still need to adjust for lighting and for white balance in whatever software you use after you take photos. You know what, Yana? Prices are going up everywhere, right? I was at the grocery store yesterday and I couldn't bring myself to buy a lemon because they were 91 cents. And sometimes I see a bag of potatoes for $8 and I'm like, I can't buy that on principle. So, yeah, I'm sure Etsy's prices are going up, but what are you going to do? Not sell on Etsy? If that's where your customer base is and that's where you can get exposure, it's the cost of doing business. But if you can find if you can find another source that charges less, are you still getting the same amount of exposure and customers? So, Sharon uses her iPhone 13. So do I. That's what I use for all my photography. I use that for all of my book photography, all of my pattern photography, all of my video production. I use that exclusively. I used to have a professional DSLR camera, and as the iPhones have been getting better, I stopped using it. And honestly, I think I have cords anymore that are compatible with that computer with that old camera for this computer, because every year technology outdates the previous and outdates the cords. It's pretty crazy. Hi, Chris. I mean, sometimes I wish I had a professional camera, but overall, I love the results that I get with my phone. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Chris. Good morning. Yeah, so in a light box, what you have to do is make sure you're getting equal light sources from the multiple directions. Because if you're using a light box and you see a shadow on one corner, that means the light source from one side is stronger than the light source from the other side. Ideally, if you're using a light box, you want to see no shadows. And the only way to do that is to get light coming from enough sources equally so that you don't see any shadows. Sometimes it helps to do that outside and let one of your light sources be the indirect light of natural lighting, but you may still want to add additional lights as well. It depends on how strong your light sources are, whether natural or unnatural, artificial. Hi, Holy. Hi, Steffi. Does anyone have any other questions about that? I've been doing product photography for a very, very long time. And all I can say is when I know better, I do better. Have I always had great photos? I've taken the best photos that I can with the equipment that I've had over the years. I've never been able to afford, the top of the line professional equipment. So I've done the best I can with what I have. And I've learned a lot over the years and bought different things and tried different things. The box came with 2 lights. Okay, Sharon, the lights that the box came with might work for you, but if they don't work for you, you'll want to use extra light sources. Whether you buy an extra light, use a ring light, use your natural light. I have found that when I used a light box years ago, I used to put it on the hood of my car outside and use the direct light of the sun as my indirect light sources for several of the angles of the light box, and then use the lights that came with it as well. Steffi Jane, she has a hard time getting photos of her paintings. Yeah, it's not easy, but I have found over the years that natural indirect light or natural soft light is more accurate than using artificial lights until you get into the super expensive, high quality professional stuff. Um, one of my, maybe you're asking someone else what they're painting. You're probably not asking me. Good, I'm glad it's helpful, Sharon. Yeah, so if you can get outside, like before 9 or 10 a.m., at least here in Southwest Florida, if I try to photograph past 10 a.m., the light's too harsh. And if I try to photograph before 4 p.m., the light's too harsh. So anytime before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m., and then you just get that magical soft lighting where you can do um, direct natural light, and it's still soft enough to just bring out all of the contrast and bring out all of the colors of your work and not blow anything out. And then even if it is a little too strong, you could do indirect lighting then, and then whatever software you use for photo editing, I use Photoshop, you can adjust for light balance and you can adjust for certain things as well. Yeah, I mean, we can do a deep dive in this on a video or a class, because I think not only is it great to figure out the right light source, but it's also really important to figure out how to edit your photos afterwards too, because you can actually make mistakes in the editing to make your colors less accurate than they were in the camera to begin with. There's also great resources out there now for getting rid of your background. So like, let's say you don't have a great background. Let's say I wanted to take a photo right here. This background would be really distracting if I was trying, let's say I'm trying to sell these earrings and this was the only place I could take the photo. Doing the photo right here with this busy background would not sell these earrings, right? So if you're stuck with doing some sort of a busy or distracting background, there are resources for getting rid of the background on a photo, so you can put a fake white background behind there or something else. So you can do that on Photoshop, which I do know how to do, but then if you get an account with Canva or some other photo apps that you can do through your phone, you can also, I think on the professional version of Canva, which I do pay for, I think you can do, they have a background remover on there. But there's some complications with that too. So like, for example, these earrings have holes in them. If I put this earring up here in front of busy colors, there's no way a background remover is going to remove that background. It's possible I could possibly get it on a high contrast background like this, or let's see if I go in front of that light, see how not only are you not getting the contrast of the background, but all this bright light coming from behind me, that's called backlit. When the light source is behind you, sometimes it blows out colors in another way, where you get too much color from behind, blowing out the detail of what you're trying to photograph, and then in a photo, my face would be too dark and everything on the front would be too dark too. Yeah, so you still want, like, let's say wherever you're photographing, and you want to remove the background, you want to make sure that you take a photo in front of a really simple background. Maybe the exterior of your house, maybe a drywall wall in your house. Something plain is easier for removing the background when you need to remove it from holes like this. If you're just trying to remove the background like on this silhouette, let's say I wanted a picture of me for a social media post and I wanted this background removed, the background's easier to remove when it's a solid source that you're trying to remove the background around. It gets more complicated when you're trying to remove the background in a subject that has these holes. Does that make sense? So sometimes what I will do is, if I'm looking to remove the background and I'm looking to remove the background on something like this, if I'm having to do it in front of a brown wall, I'm going to put a brown background around this so that the holes match whatever background's going to happen. Does that make sense? So like, if I could take this photo of me wearing these earrings in front of a white wall, taking the background remover to remove around the entire silhouette of my body and the outside of the earring, as long as those holes in there are white, then I'll do a white background. But if I had to take the photo here to focus on these earrings, I'm not going to be able to remove those holes with the brown behind here. So what I would do is remove the background around the silhouette, not through those little holes, and then find a background or maybe a photo that had some of this color in it, or maybe do a jungle photo that has shadows right where that earring is. I should probably do a video on this so I can show you, because sometimes you can put a photo, like I'll give you an example. Let's go, I want you to see, and we'll do a deep dive in this where I can show you the before and after, but if you look at the dragonflies in flight crochet pattern, this is, I thought this turned out really cool, because these photos, when you look at all these photos here, not one of these photos was taken in front of these beautiful backgrounds that I share in these photos. So like, for example, can you see this? Let's see if I can make it bigger. Let me try to make it bigger real quick. I took this photo in front of a white wall in my old house, and I was able to remove the background and then put it in this beautiful fancy house with a beautiful jungle view behind it. And I'll show you a couple more. Okay, see this one? This photo was taken in front of a white wall at my old house. And can you see the holes in the shawl? Those holes are showing the white wall at the old house, but I positioned it in this other photo so that it would look like the light source coming in through the windows. See how it kind of works? And that's just about zhuzhing between the two photos. Give me another example. See this one? This one was not shot there. This one was shot in a white room in my house. But because I placed the white holes in the shawl next to the light source, I thought I was able to make it work. I'll give you another example. See this one? See the white holes in the shawl? Those white holes I was not able to remove without compromising the details of the shawl. Like sometimes when you remove the holes, when you're removing the background, it doesn't work perfectly with the stitches, and then you lose some of the correct texture of the shawl, so I had to leave it in, but I put it behind, so like specifically this side here, I made sure to slide that background around so that it wasn't in front of the dark table, it was in front of those white curtains, and that was able to make it work. And isn't that a lot more, again, the white spots behind the lace are from a white wall at my house, not from this beautiful brick wall. But I was able to make it work because I lined it up with things that were similar in the amount of light. And it made the photos more interesting. So I want to see if anybody has questions about that. Here, another one. I've never had a fancy living room like that, but it sure looks like I was standing in a fancy living room that day, doesn't it? I wasn't. I was standing next to the piano in my old house with that white walls. Thanks, Judy. Yeah, and this is all stuff that I'm able to do on Canva. Look at those fancy stairs. I did not take this photo there. I took it in front of a white wall in a very basic house. The key is having a clean surface. Like, okay, this is the wall I took all those photos in front of. That is the wall. So that was, oh, and there's that white ladder I was telling you about. See that white ladder to the side of that photo? That's what I use for displaying, oh, lost my train of thought again. I start reading the comments, I lose my train. That's what I use for displaying Afghans. Let's see if I can find, I don't know if it's in my Amazon shop or not, but I can always put it in. It would be in the Knit and Crochet It should be in here. Because if, all right, I don't see it, or do I? Let me find the one I bought then, because I highly recommend it. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. And no, it didn't cost a whole lot of money either. Let's see. Here we go. I found it. Let me just get the link. It's $44. And it does come in other colors if you don't like white. I just find white is really great for backgrounds, especially when you're trying to sell products that are colorful. Most of the time our knit and crochet projects are colorful, so I think white's really great. Now, when you're photographing something that's white, that changes everything, right? Okay, let me get a link for this and share it with you. Yeah, for $44, I thought this was worth its weight in gold. Thank you, Lori. I try to be. All right, so I was going to talk to you about how I'm working on making these patterns, but we can save writing patterns for another informational day, because I feel like this was a really wonderful opportunity. I don't always get to see the pre-chat conversations, but as I came in today, it was scrolling to catch me up, and I saw questions about this side of selling knit and crochet items, and I just felt like it was a wonderful opportunity for me to share some of my information on that, because I have a ton of information on that I would love to share with anybody. I want to help everybody in any way that I can, and if selling handmade items helps you make more money, my goodness, I want to help you. That's why anybody that wants to sell samples made in my patterns, let me know what you're doing. I can use my platform to share what you're doing too. I'm more than happy to help get the word out if you're trying to sell. Selling is hard. Selling is a hard job. I've been hustling at it for years, and it's never been easy. So I'm more than happy to help you. If anybody wants to share what I'm doing with their friends and family and their social networks, I certainly appreciate it. And likewise, I'm happy to help if it's appropriate for me as well. That's great, Sharon. No problem, Sharon. No problem changing the subject. She made the nightingale hat pattern flat and made 2 scarves. Karen would like to get better at selling, so she'd love a series on that. Wonderful. I do have to mention, I will not be going live tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. That RV Mobile Mechanic is coming back to do a walkthrough and make sure everything is safe in the RV. He did come to immediately check my work with the batteries and make sure that the converter wasn't overcharging the batteries and get me safe the other day. But because he had only fit me into his schedule while he was helping other people in emergency situations, he said he would come back when things settled down and do a walkthrough with me and make sure everything else is safe in here. So he's supposed to be here at 9 tomorrow, and I just don't want to stress myself out by knowing whether he'll be done by 10 or not. So I think it would be better if I focus on maybe a video tutorial tomorrow, and if I can get it all done in the same day, then I will upload a video tutorial tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm going to dedicate tomorrow to recording and getting some tutorials out sooner than later. So tomorrow I will not be live at 10 a.m., but who knows, maybe I'll have a tutorial set up by then. I'm going to definitely, you will see a tutorial from me very soon, whether it's this new hat and cowl set. I'm so in love with these. These are going to be called the Honey Pot. No, Honey Rose, sorry. So I'm going to be showing you how to make this set in number 4 worsted weight yarn. My hair's done, so I don't want to put it on right now, but I will show you photos. It sits like a bucket hat on. It's gorgeous. And then I'm going to show you how to make it as well in number 6 bulky weight yarn. So totally different gauge. So it's going to be a different multiple and different number of rounds, but it is the same aesthetic, and they're both gorgeous, or all 4 of them are gorgeous, and all 4 of them, I'm reading again, are super quick to make. The pattern is not available right now. I am writing it as we speak. I have the charts completed. I am writing the pattern. I've been writing the patterns this morning. I'm going to make some tutorial videos, do some photos, and get all of it out to you hopefully in the next few days. By Monday would be a great goal, I suppose. Thank you, Karen. Yes, thank you, Rennie. Yes, I'm hoping everything is fine as well. Yeah, the pattern will be available very soon and will be called the Honey Rose, and it will include hat and cowl, both in 2 weights of yarn. So 4 patterns in one. How's that? And I think you'll be able to see from there how you could convert it to other weights. And we can even dedicate a whole episode of the show to talking about how you would convert this for DK or sport weight or fingering weight as well. It would just be based on your gauge or making other sizes. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any other questions? Thanks, Lori. I love the Nightingale hat too. That was so fun to make. I love how fast stuff is on number 6 bulky weight yarn. And when it gets cold outside, how much are we going to be grateful for having warm, chunky, cozy, super bulky weight accessories? It's going to be amazing. I would love a blanket in that. Oh my goodness. What would be better than a blanket in number 6 bulky weight yarn? Like, I really don't know. The weight. I love weight on me when I sleep. Okay, I don't see any other questions. So thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed our discussion about photography, photo editing, sales, new patterns, my earrings, chatting with me and everyone else. And of course, my little snuggle bunny, baby Bjorn, who loves cuddling. Oh, we even got to hear the rain today too. That was fun. All right, let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. Make time for self-care, and don't forget to think about other people as well. And I'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.